But what I did experience with my time, the first time I went to Tanzania, which was like what 2021, was it? I think it was 20. No, yeah, 2021 because they're still doing the pandemic. What I did experience was like peace of mind, like because everybody looks like you. Like you can literally just blend in. Like that's what I like about Africa so much. Like you could just blend in. Like if you don't want to be out, like you just throw this dress down, put a t-shirt, some basketball shorts, some flip flops, chaquetas, and just walk around. But like I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. But I never had that expectation like going to Africa is coming back home. Cause like we've been disconnected from Africa for a minute. So I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, they embraced me at the airport and I felt the love and we sing fucking Lion King songs. Nah. It was like going to another country for me.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people like even whenever I went to Senegal and I went to the last port, whatever it was, the final chapter, the final door, the last door, I think they called it for the slaves that came from all over Africa to go to the Americas, and they were like, "Oh, I bet you the energy just felt so strong and powerful." I was like, "Let me be honest with you, I didn't feel shit. It
Mm.
just felt like, I was just looking at it like, oh, this is cool. Like there was people here. Well, I mean, it's not cool, but I mean, this is interesting that there's people here that
Yeah.
went through all that stuff. But as far as feeling spirits and all that, nah, I didn't. I didn't. That didn't. I'm sorry. That that didn't happen to me. So, do you feel like the colonialism and slavery? Do you think that's impacted the perception of Africa amongst Americans, how we view it, and how did going to Africa change your perception from what colonialism? Like, for example, when I say colonialism, the people. Can you hear that prayer in the background?
Nah, I can't hear.
The people in the United States that control the media, that control the narrative of Africa, they that you would think that they're pretty much still slaves, which in some parts they are, but you would think that it's
Yeah.
just a shithole. And when you go there, how did that make you feel to see that that wasn't necessarily the case?
I mean, honestly, because I like to do research before I go. You just can't believe some people. Like I do a little bit of research, especially because Africa. Because I would say, yeah, it did affect my perception. Because like I was worried about like little stuff like, damn, yo, can I get a cab from the airport to from? Can I get a decent cab without getting scammed? Or go? They're gonna take me off road somewhere to get to the hotel. So yeah, the perception in the media has ruined it for Africa. That's why a lot of people don't want to come here. Like I'm pretty sure you experienced this too. Like your family would call you and be like, yo, did you see like a zebra? Like I'm like, bro, why would I see a zebra? I'm in the city. Like zebra's just gonna run around. That's like saying, yo, do you just see crocodiles running around Manhattan? I mean, you're gonna see Master Splinter and the rats running around, but you ain't gonna see no damn crocodile. But yeah, it was like so people was asking me really dumb questions, like, bro, like, yo, how's it looking out there? So that's why a lot of brothers, and I would say brothers and sisters, don't come back to the continent. Cause like the European colonialism painted the world. And I feel like even though it calmed down, I still like there's a narrative like they don't want us to come back to Africa. Like they realize if we came back to Africa, if we take our resources and we invested in Africa and we got them on like up to our time, like how the US is super efficient, Africa could be a problem. Because Africa is the future. Africa has all the resources, it has a young population, like it's perfect to be the next like well you can't say like I was gonna say economic power like economical region like the eurozone or like how they're trying to do with the BRICS. Like it's gonna be like if you get like the East African Confederation and they get their stuff together, that could be a big power. That's why they kind of shut that down when they had like Gaddafi and they murked him. But I'm going on a tangent. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Africa is the future because it's the most underdeveloped, and like you said, it has a huge youth population. Which society is nothing without a youthful population. If there's a big youthful population, it has a big future. Hence the reason why places like Italy, they're saying, are coming to an end because they don't have a youth like that. But yeah, if it's underdeveloped, that means there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of developing to do, which means that any business you want to open up is possible in that country or that area, that region of the world. And Africa is the most underdeveloped out of all of them, but it's not as underdeveloped as people think. So, what is, there's a lot of Africans that go to other countries and they pretend to be us. They pretend to, and it's not all of them, but it's usually some West Africans. I noticed Nigerians. I've noticed they do this. I think I've only seen them do it, but it's not only them. But they try to be us and they try to steal our culture, the way how we talk, to try to get some leverage with women or whatever the hell they trying to do. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
do you think that Africans have a way of shaping the identity of black men globally? Like, do they affect our image even though they're from Africa, we're from the United States?
100% I believe they shape our average because there's way more Africans traveling than Black Americans, than Black British, than Black Canadians. So there's most people interactions, first interaction, especially like in like Europe and Asia, is probably going to be an African before they meet like American. And like I seen that when I was going through the path, like when I went to Serbia, right? And I was talking to girls, and I was like, "Yeah, blah blah blah," and they're like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm American." It's like, "Really? I thought you was from Africa." I'm like, "Nah, I'm American." There's so many Africans in this part of town. And then when I went to Bulgaria, yeah, there's a bunch of Africans in this part of town. Hungary, there's a bunch of Africans in this part of town. And then like so they are the basically Africans are the representation of like black people. Because like it's not enough of us traveling to get representation. And talking about the topic you said earlier, they're doing a lot of damage to our name, especially like West Africans. Cause like I hate to say it, but like some of the Nigerians, they be fucking up, bro. They be doing wild stuff. Cause like, and this is no shade to Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria. But like they usually get to a country, their bad actors get to a country and they start doing crazy stuff. Cause like you be hearing about the trafficking, the pimping, all this other stuff. So I feel like we don't even get a chance to like present ourselves in the best light because you got them going over there, they still in our swag, they still in our style. They say, "Oh yeah, we from New York," and acting crazy. And then also the flip side, we got the media that portrays us bad. So we're in a lose-lose situation. That's why we gotta kind of like take control of our media and start like brothers like you, me, like check whatever, all need to start putting out way, way more content so we can influence and show like, okay, yeah, we are all black, but we're different. That's like saying, okay, all Italians act like Irish or all British act like Germans. Like there's separations. Like people don't wouldn't say that about white people, but usually we get grouped together like, oh yeah, that's some black people shit right there. But you don't say like, oh, that's some white people shit like that. You know, there was a British. I mean, we say that in America, but like when you go overseas, you hear like, oh, the British are wild, this or that. But it's just all that's what black people do. Like black people know how to dance, they know how to rap, play basketball, dumb shit.
And I'll tell you something. And whenever James went to get his hair transplanted, when he went in for his consultation, the lady asked, "Where y'all from?" And I said, "Oh, I'm from Texas." And James said, "Connecticut." She looked at me and saw this Kenyan bracelet. It pissed me off. She saw this Kenyan bracelet, and she's like, "But you have it looks like you have an African bracelet on." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to live over there." "Oh, okay. So you're from Kenya." I'm like, "So you think I'm gonna fucking lie to you?" Okay. Yeah, but then it reminded me, oh, there's those Africans that pretend to be us. So she think I'm one of them. I ain't like that shit. I did not like that. That really
Good,
yeah,
good, good.
that really irritated me a lot. So Do you believe that Pan Africanism plays a role in encouraging Black American men to visit and invest in Africa? Because I know you just brought up that it's up to content creators like you and I and Check and Effect to promote, a better image. But what about, is there because there's a lot of so-called Pan-Africanists that are, I call them so-called they're not really Pan-Africanists. They're so-called they're convenient Pan-Africanists.
Yeah. That whole like I never really bought into like the whole Pan African thing. Cause like this is the thing, people have their own definitions. You feel me? So like you said, you got the so-called ones, and then you got the ones that's kind of like they want to come to Africa, but they feel like they're better than the Africans. So they're throwing shade at all that. But I just feel like it's just like it just makes sense. Like you don't need a name for this. Like Pan African is like okay, we need to come together because like it's just advantageous for us to come together. So I don't really follow that because I know like that's opened up a can of worms just saying Pan Africanist because then you're gonna have like the FBA and the ADOS people come out and it's gonna start arguing in the comments. I'm like, yo, bro, it's just simple. There's a continent with 54 countries. There's a lot of opportunity. We should work with the people. Like the Chinese are doing it, the Indian are doing it. They don't need a name for it. We could just come back. Like this is our roots. We could just come back.